Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our journey in discovering one more Chinese expression a day. Yesterday, we talked about 如梦初醒, which describes exact the moment when you wake up from your dream. So, yeah, imagine the moment when you're still part of you in a dream and you come to reality, your morning routine, and that's the moment it's probably more mind-opening moment of the day because you're kind of coexisting in two world, your dream world and the world you spend more time every day. So that's the moment we talk about, 如梦初醒. And today we have two carryover characters, 梦醒时分. It's basically talking about the same thing, but from a different perspective, I have to say. I'm running out of words now. But we're describing the same. It's the exact hour and a minute you wake up from your dream. So we switch out 初醒. 初 is like at the beginning time, the beginning when you just wake up from the dream. We switch out that with 时 and 分, which is more exact, talking about the hour and the minute that you wake up. And right now here, it doesn't really distinguish as hour or minute. It's basically 时分, using it as a time unit of time to mean the moment you wake up. So it's a little bit different connotation from 如梦初醒, which is kind of awakening, almost like you rediscover something or view the world in a new light. That's 如梦初醒. It's awakening, some waking up of new senses. And here, 梦醒时分is a little bit negative. It's 时分because it's a quantifiable unit of time, right? It becomes like examining something in a more scientific or measurable or manageable, harsher light almost. Okay, again, 梦, we have this blurry eye symbol, oval shape eyeball, bed frame. This is our bed frame. And then domestic space with a chimney on the top and a crescent moon that shows the timing. Evening when the moon is up, that's when the eyes got blurry in your bed, in your domestic space. That's when dream occur. So we're depicting this frame, whole thing, depicting the settings when dream happen. 醒, we compare with the wake up from dreams or from sleep, like regain your consciousness that dealing with reality from we could compare that to the sense of awaken from the state of being drunk, because we have the left side, that's a visual representation of wine bottle. We have this container, the stopper, this is the stopper, and this is the alcohol. So the whole left side is a bottle, and the right side is our star symbol. The star symbol is made up of the sphere with energy emitting from the sphere. That's the sun, solar. Okay. The bottom, the trident, is the plant with the root growing below the ground level. And we have a second horizontal line is an indicator to show that's the position we talk about. That's the surroundings besides the plant's root or below the plant's root. And we can just imagine, okay, that's soil we're talking about. So the soil and the plant still growing in the soil. That's our symbol for life. So life, when paired with the sun, that's our symbol for stars. As I said yesterday, I'm not sure if the ancient language creators realized that the stars are nothing but solars in a faraway distance that could carry life around. just like the Earth in our solar system. I'm not sure if they realize that, but that's how the language symbols are pieced together. It's the sun plus life. That's our stars. And that stars thing paired with the wine bottle means wake up from the state of being drunk. So I also interpret here is like wake up when the sun is up, when life continues as normal, you get back to regular life from your state of being drunk. But of course, most of the time of us, I mean, most of the days, most of the time for most of us, we wake up from dreams, not from a drunken state, right? So eventually that wake up from being drunk used to apply to everyday wake up from sleep, and with or without dream. So wake up from dream here we're talking about. 梦醒 and then 时分. These are time measurements. We know that ancient Chinese also have come up with device that kind of with a needle pointing toward the sun, and then have measurements along the kind of a rulers with carved in units to according to the shadow of the needle casted by the sun to tell the time of the day. So apparently ancient people in Chinese culture try to quantify time, because time for us living in our time and space, we don't really, unless we check with our clock, right? We don't really quantify, we have no sense of time. And time actually, the sense of time or the speed of time flowing is not constant to us. It could go faster or slower, depends on what's happening at the moment. So the quantifiable time, we quantify it into year, month, day, and hour, minute, and second. That becomes kind of universal nowadays. We took it for granted almost. And in ancient Chinese, we have to find corresponding concept from our language to match up to all that time units. So here we have hour and minute. Hour comes from the sun. I mean, we have this sun tracker, shadow tracking time measurement device, right, called 日晷. And we can see why the bigger unit in a day, the hour, is associated with the sun, because sun is kind of slow moving already, right? But to measure time when it moves throughout the day, the sun is actually an easier teller for us to at least check out the sun in the sky based on the position in the sky, kind of tell what time of the day it is, right? So definitely when we talk about hours in the day, we have a sun symbol up there, logical. And then the right side is, again, the plant symbol, the plant growing in the ground, which is kind of this portion, right? And then we have this 3-finger hand symbol that kind of look like this, 3-finger hand symbol, and then with a pointer to here. And this is a ancient Chinese technology of diagnose patient by pressure point this 1 inch down from the wrist to tell your pulse. So this is a pulse reading position. And I guess that position also used as a measurement of a distance or the depth, because agriculture has to be somewhat accurate, right? So when you plant the seed, it has to be a certain depth below the surface of the soil, right? And so this plant plus this measurement simply means kind of a rules or best practices in agriculture society that we need to observe, so that you follow the exact or the optimal, right, setting to deal with your plant. so that you have a good harvest year. That is the #1 production activity back then, and agriculture is the most important thing. So all the rules associated with that, all the best practices back then have to be upheld by everybody. So that becomes kind of a rule setting symbol. So rule setting plus the sun is kind of the measurement of the sun, and use that as the hour. And in ancient times, actually, ancient Chinese track every 2 hours as one time unit. And from that, we can tell that, yeah, ancient people don't live in a hurry. They probably don't need to track time like every hour to be exact, right? They track every 2 hours to know what time of the day, with the accuracy of every 2 hours a unit. So you can see we here in contemporary 2023, contemporary lives, we live in a finer cut time unit. That's 24 hours in a day. Ancient times, just 12 hours in Chinese culture. Okay, so that's hour symbol. And the minute symbol simply is our separation symbol that comes with a knife. Here's the knife, the handle of the knife, and I guess this is the edge side, and this is the top portion, the other probably non-edgy, non-cutting side. And the knife cuts something into two. So there is a separation there. So the 分 original meaning means separation. And apparently it's like cut down, separate something into 2 pieces. So it depicts this separation. And from the separation, when it apply this concept to time, I guess that's simply to mean, okay, we are separating finer moments by the hour. So we have a finer, like a 60 cut on the hour. So we have a minute, a smaller unit. And I guess that's, 60 minute per hour kind of time management. Time unit or quantification of measurement. I didn't check where that came from. Most likely from some Western country, right? British, I don't know, who knows? And that concept of time, like whoever come up with clockwork, right? And they set the standard, the global standard, in fact, of hour tracking and then minute tracking, right? And that one is spill over or spread over to East Asia, to China. And that language capture this as finer cut without saying like further how it's cut. So that's a type of a translation, because we only have like every 2 hours, and that's one time unit. And now you have to come up with an hour and come up with a minute. So we have to say, okay, it's a cut in that hour. And that's used as minute, okay. 梦醒时分 here, it talks about the moment, the hour and the minute, right? The moment you wake up from the dream. And a lot of times here, 梦醒时分 used as a depiction of, okay, dream is where you want to be, but dream is not the reality. So when the moment you wake up from that sweet, sweet dream, that's going to be hurtful, but that's the moment you come back to reality. And a lot of times, 梦醒时分 used in this kind of disillusion, the sense of disillusion, like you were probably made to believe, or you're willingly to believe in something that make you feel better, but it's not the real thing. And when you finally one day realize it's not the real thing, and you come to this disillusion moment, and that's painful realization of something is not true that you hold dear to heart. So as an example of here, it says 滚石 Rolling Stone. I guess they publish in China as well. 30th anniversary treasure collection, collectible item of this 2 CD of this 梦醒时分. That's the main song. This artist, Chen Shuhua, her came up in 1989 first, and 30 years later, which is 2019, Rolling Stone reissued this song, and 梦醒时分 basically talks about this girl realized that what she has been holding on to, the illusion of love, was not real. And it's quite a painful experience for her to come back to her reality, to accept what life is for her. And that's 梦醒时分. So compare with yesterday's 如梦初醒, that's awakening, that's a positive sense. With 梦醒时分, that's disillusion. That's also kind of awakening, right? But it's a painful one. So language have both, we're talking about the same thing, but we frame it differently. And one is positive, awakening, understanding something new about yourself, versus this is negative. This is a painful realization. But at the same time, it's also understand something new about yourself. And probably the better, the sooner you realize, you come to the reality, it's better for you. But it's a painful moment for this girl, this song represents. Okay, that's 梦醒时分. Cash into the continuing of thinking by One Word a Day with Sophie.